Guess who's back? I got a haircut just before this episode because I might as well look good when you all try to ruin my life. You all are sick. You really are. You are sick. The comments of every single one of these Classroom Horror Stories videos is one of three things. Somebody calling me a fat, chubby, fluffy, orange Lorax, who from Whoville mayor something. It's somebody else adding their own horror stories, which are amazing. Or it's some type of mentally ill 12-year-old somewhere around the world screaming,
"More, do more, you circus clown, entertainment."
I feel like enjoying this series is a lot like enjoying being hit by a car in traffic. You get up and you're like, hit reverse, we're doing it again. I don't understand you. I had somebody request that we do some of the stories that are in the comments of the YouTube videos and the TikTok videos. So in episode 32, I'm gonna only take stories from the comments of episode 31. Deal? Deal. Let's do that. We'll do comments from episode 31 and then comments from the TikToks where I put on the little clips. It's much easier for me to see all of your stories that way, and the nothing I hate more than leaving somebody out. You all made it to 31, and I feel like that is just, it's gross. It's disgusting. I got some videos for you today. You're not gonna like these. Yes you will. I'm not gonna like these. I'm gonna have to take a pill to sleep. Exciting.
And he still has half a pint.
I wanna get this out of the way right now. Go in the comments right now, and I want you to tell me where you're watching from. I also want you to go down below this video, hit subscribe, and then hit that little alarm sound. I will wait for you. Ready, go. See, you didn't miss anything. So I want to know where everybody's watching from because it's so sick to see people from literally around the world watching me. I don't know why anybody wants to watch me. I don't know, but we'll get into that. But I always really like seeing those comments. It makes me really happy. And then that little alarm and then the like button, that just helps this video go to more people. And why not find out just how many people in our world are mentally unwell? So let's do it. All right, oh my God. This first video is titled, "I swear to God." This says, "Pencils are for stabbing, parentheses, preschool edition, close parentheses." That's the worst sentence I've ever heard in my whole life. And it's from somebody named Starling. Hello, I found your TikTok and Instagram stories. They make me smile, and it's great to see a teacher working to be such a positive influence on their students. I think I was a pretty good influence, aside from laughing when kids fell. That doesn't matter. I'm a good influence. I shared your videos with a friend of mine. She teaches middle school, and I was a preschool teacher for 4 years. Preschool, middle school, crazy grades to be a teacher. You are a veteran. You deserve some type of commemorative hat. I was afloat for a year until I finally was promoted to the baby room permanently. Whew. Promoted is a word that an administrator would use. We got a promotion. You get to get pooped on. It sounds awful, but babies are easier than a full room of 3-year-olds. That's fair. At least they can't walk. However, this story comes from my float year. The rule at school was any kid over 3 had to be potty trained. However, the child in this story was 5, starting kindergarten soon, and was not potty trained.
As someone who just has no understanding of like age dynamics of really young children and their bowel movements,
I don't quite know how late 5 years old is for potty training, but I'm gonna assume it's horrible. We had cut the dad a lot of slack because the mom had passed away when the kid was 3. That's rough. Okay, well, I like that you're giving the guy slack. However, diapers are designed for babies and not toddlers or children, but they're designed for the elderly, and I'm probably 5 years away. After nap time, I was helping the 3-year-old classroom. The 5-year-old student the teacher in the 5-year-old class sent the student to us while the rest of her class used the big kid toilet. I picked up this kid to put him on the changing table. Baby blowouts are gross, but usually contained by onesies and pretty easy to clean up. Good Lord. His blowout went all the way up his back. What? He gave himself natural insulation. That's crazy. His shirt was filthy, his jeans were ruined, and his socks and shoes. It got in his socks and shoes? How? Do you know what thought just went through my head? And I'm not proud of this. And I thought about not telling you the thought that just went through my head. I was like, as a 28-year-old, I wonder if I could pull off this bad of a blowout in my pants. And for a very hot second, I thought like, this could be good for science. And then I came to my senses and I was like, no, that's a dumb thing to do. That's a stupid thought. That's an inside thought that I just put on a video that's gonna go to hundreds of thousands of people around the world. So great. I'm not gonna try it. You're not gonna talk me into trying it. Not to mention that because I had to pick him up facing away from me, it was now all down my front, my shirt, and my skirt, which saved my shoes. Oh my God, bless your heart. That is horrific. I held myself together long enough for another teacher to put hands on him. I think I have too much of like a high school mentality towards this. She wrote, I held myself long enough for another teacher to put hands on him while he was on the changing table. And my first thought was him getting a whooping, and that's not good. It's not a good mentality, but this is where my brain goes. I picked up the hem of my skirt and ran to the bathroom to clean myself up. I was sent home afterwards, and the dad brought me flowers and asked for potty training tips. It's good when a parent recognizes that what their kid is doing is horrific and detrimental to the teacher's mental health. But the potty training tips, it's good that he's asking. I've had so many parents, I never taught babies, but I had so many parents who just wouldn't take any advice on anything. And in fairness, I was like also a child when I was teaching their children, but like there are some times where I'm like, I'm here with your kid all day long. He just put a hole in the wall. Can I give you some tips on stopping that because I'm bad at plaster? Ooh, we get a second story. Second story I have is, this must be the story about the whole pencil thing. The second story I have is from one of my problem children, and the reason I was moved to and prefer the baby room. Deal. I had just been promoted. You use the word promoted a lot. Promoted is a crazy word to describe this situation. I had been promoted to take over the 3-year-old classroom as their teacher had just left to teach kindergarten. I spent the week decorating my class, putting together my schedule, and just getting ready to do the best. I was handed this child with the worst behavior problems I had ever seen. I worked so hard with this kid trying to teach him manners and good behavior, but it's hard when the parents refuse to make changes at home. True. If you're a parent watching this, you gotta listen to your teacher, at least a little bit, like at least try. He spent so much time in the hallway, I hate doing that, but it was a safety issue. He would hit other students, steal their food, pull hair, spit, and bite. He slammed one kid's head into the table for absolutely no reason. My desk was in the hallway when I was a kid, but it wasn't because I was hitting kids. Did I hit kids? I might have hit kids. There was one situation when I was at summer camp. There was this kid that was bullying me, and I was like, I'm gonna get back at him. And he was swimming, and I jumped on his head in the pool, and then he like stopped swimming. I don't know, it's ancient history. One day, he was really bad. He was in a mood from the moment he was dropped off. I had to remind him to stay in the stations for playtime. I had to send him out during story time because he kept standing on and aiming kicks at other kids' heads. Bad place to aim. During nap time, I put his mat in the corner and sat my body between him and the rest of the kids after he tried to place a pillow over a girl's face. This is first-degree murder. Attempted first-degree murder, right? Like, come on. After nap time and lunch, I do wiggle time. I put on kids' music and we dance our wiggles out. I could go for some wiggle time right now. Caroline, cue the kids' music. I'm sorry you had to watch that. I feel like I kind of looked like Squidward in that episode where he's dancing. Wiggle time gets us through the hectic time when a lot of parents pick up kids or our late arrivals to show up. This gets them calm before coloring while I make sure that I've sent out all the notices and such for parents, as well as counting permission slips for our midweek walk to the local park. During wiggle time, I was helping a boy with an asthma attack. That was probably me. I was in the classroom at the table making sure the inhaler worked so I wouldn't have to call any medical emergency. Suddenly, I hear a blood-curdling scream. You hate to hear that in a preschool environment. The kind that every teacher knows that a kid is seriously hurt. This is really well written. This kid had taken advantage of my distraction, found a pencil, and stabbed a little girl in the leg with it. Can we pay teachers more now? Did you hear what just happened inside of this classroom? I had to call a medical emergency and the police were involved. I have no idea what happened to this kid. He was ejected by our standards afterward. Crazy. The little girl was okay, but severely traumatized. Thankfully, she didn't hold it against me. She would come sit in the baby room when the classroom got loud and it made her anxious. Oh, well, you also let her get stabbed in the legs. I mean, this girl's very forgiving. I quit after a kid's mom called me a slur and threatened to set me on fire for teaching her daughter how to be LGBTQ. I don't understand why you'd have to be set on fire. Getting set on fire as punishment for doing anything is kind of an insane, like, leap, so I'm not sure about that. Geez, you deal with some real stuff here. This was after I mentioned one time that my girlfriend had picked me up after work. We gotta love bigots. Yeah, I mean, what in the world? I now work in the restaurant industry as a chef. Less poop, less blood, but I have said it before and I'll say it again. Adults are worse than kids. Keep up the good work. Love the TikToks, love the podcast. Wow. I was not expecting a 2-for-1 on that one. We have poop going through the pants into the shoes up the back, and then we have kids getting stabbed in the leg. We're off to a horrible start. Horrible start. And you got me to do wiggle time, which is crazy. All right, let's go to another one.
Where is it? Where the is it? I swear to God. You laughing, girl? You trying to laugh? This funny?
All right, round 2. This one is called Stalker Mom. What's up, Mr. J? My name is Dylan, and I'm from Chicago, Illinois. During my 3rd year teaching, I had a parent who is completely insane. I have had parents act very unhinged around me. It's really uncomfortable. Not cool. From the first time I met her in the beginning of the year, she gave me very weird vibes. She immediately followed me on every social media platform and requested that I give her my phone number so that we can keep in touch about anything that goes on with her daughter. This was kind of weird, but not necessarily uncommon for teachers to experience. Some parents are just a little bit more involved than they need to be. Yeah, I mean, there are a lot of times where I will have parents' numbers, but it's only in cases where I really need to have, like if the student behavior is crazy and I know I'm gonna have to reach out to this parent a lot, sure. If a parent comes and
it is
like is a chaperone on a field trip, I always have their number. Stuff like that. It started getting weird when the parent would use her daughter to try to get closer to me. Okay, go on. During class, her daughter would ask me things like, so where do you live? Do you have a girlfriend? I don't know why I just became Southern on that. And do you think my mom is pretty? She's coaching her daughter to pick you up? Oh, God. Each time I would tell her that that's a personal question and not to... It's a personal question and not what we talk about in class. The situation took a crazy turn. Oh, it's getting crazy now? This is when it's getting crazy? The situation took a crazy turn right before Christmas break. It always does. The student came in with a big present for me, and she said, my mom wanted me to give you this, but don't open it until you get home. Sweet Christ. Okay. I assumed it was a bottle of wine and the parent was just trying to keep me from getting in trouble with the school. When I got home, I opened the present and saw something that I could not believe I was looking at. Oh, God. You know, I'm just gonna enjoy these 5 seconds of peace before I finish this. On with the show. The parent did give me alcohol, but it was a whole bottle of vodka. In addition to this, she gave me 2 pairs of panties, one with a note that said used and one that said unused. What the f***? Used and unused?
This is a sanitation problem.
We need those like yellow masked up dudes from Monsters Inc. on this woman. Along with all that, there was a note that asked me to meet her at a bar that weekend. I didn't realize that the note was written on the back of a Polaroid picture. Full-blown naked picture of the mom. God damn it.
When do it become?
Wow. Oh, wow. She said, you know what? First time at bat, I'm hitting a grand damn slam. Isn't it funny that if this was like somebody that you were interested in, it would be like the best present ever? But since it's this random ass mom in Chicago, oh my God. I reported it and the admin handled switching her daughter to a different sister school of ours. Whew. I've seen the mom wandering around my neighborhood multiple times since this happened. Call the cops. She wants to wear your skin to her birthday party. Call the cops. Thank you and keep saving the trees. Oh my God. I can't even deal with the Lorax comment. Call the police. Call them. Chicago PD. Right there. Oh my God. This woman wants to murder is the problem. You're gonna turn into like a relic. It's gonna be great. It's not gonna be great for you, but she's gonna love it. Holy crap. That is insane. I don't wanna do another one. You can't make me. No, absolutely not. No. Holy hell. All right. right, one more and then we're getting out of here. All right, this one is from Adelaide and it's called Gym Class Heroes. I was not a gym class hero. I was a gym class bench rider. Dear Mr. J, my name's Adelaide and I'm from London. We're global, so worldwide. I love your Classroom Horror Story series and I watch them literally every single day. Aw. Actually makes me really happy. I have a story from when I was in 7th grade, as you guys call it in America. What would it be called in London if it's not 7th grade? Can somebody go in the comments, somebody from England? My period 2 class every day was physical education. We had a middle-aged gym teacher named Mr. Wilson. He gives off the vibe that he was really cool in high school because he won a game of football one time, but now he's bald and pudgy. Oh, crap. I think I give off that vibe. Unfortunately, I never won a football game, so now I can just do the bald pudgy thing. Now you can picture who we're talking about and the story will be even funnier. Great. One of the tests in our gym class was climbing a rope. It was about 25 feet tall, and Mr. Wilson told us that this activity was one of the most basic human skills, and everybody should be able to do it. One kid in the back of the class said, "Can you even do it?" And all the class started laughing. Mr. Wilson got really upset and told us that no one in our generation has any respect or physical strength. That'll get them to like you, Mr. Wilson. It's just like you're back in high school. Good Lord. Silent. He also decided that he was going to prove us wrong, and he was going to climb the rope. In front of 25 students, Mr. Wilson began climbing the rope. In his defense, for the first couple of pulls, he was climbing it pretty quickly. There was a lot of heavy breathing, and he kind of sounded like he was drowning, but he was climbing the rope. Unfortunately, about halfway up the rope, Mr. Wilson's pants started creeping down below his waist. Yikes. That is a vulnerable situation. To this day, I'll never understand why he didn't just stop climbing and fix his pants. I like the way this is written. He decided to keep going, and with every grasp of each of his hands, his pants fell lower and lower. We found out very quickly that Mr. Wilson does not wear underwear. God damn, dude. You can't go commando at a teaching job. You can't do it. One pantsing and you are not allowed within 100 feet of a school.
Some of y'all about to be real mad at me, but it must be said.
His entire bottom half was out in front of the entire class. His cargo shorts were around his ankles as he got to the top of the rope. So you're telling me this man is climbing this rope looking like Winnie the Pooh in front of a group of 7th graders? That is horrific. He slapped the bell that was at the top of the rope and yelled down, "See, that's how you do it." What a kid. Okay. Unfortunately, as he was saying that, he lost his grip and fell 25 feet onto the very thin mat that was on the ground below the rope. He knocked himself unconscious and was laying on his back until the principal got to the gym to save him. Yikes. That is like, you're not going back to teaching. You need to go coach a soccer team somewhere. If you're even legally allowed to coach a soccer team somewhere, that's your best bet, honestly. No, this is quitting territory. This is where you change careers and you never look back.
I never found you funny. I never found you entertaining. I never found you
well,
smart.
thank you for writing in. That's hilarious. Thanks for getting in the chat, Adelaide. All right, you could be anywhere but you're here, and that's pretty sick. I really appreciate everybody who's coming in and watching these all the way through. I don't understand why you watch it all the way through. If you've watched the video up to now, put a peach emoji in the comments. If you have a horror story that you want me to read in any of the upcoming episodes, put them in the comments of this video. If it's like super bad and you really need me to not like have your name or anything associated with it, I'll still look at the emails. But I want to do episode 32 specifically of stories from the comments of this YouTube video. So therapy is going to be interesting this weekend. All right, well, I love you all. I'll see you all in episode 32. Oh my God, this is getting bad. All right, see you beauties. Last but not least, each episode I'm showing a little bit of love to one subscriber. So go show some love to this account and subscribe now so that you can be it next week. Okay, bye.